Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the GTC Champions, GTC3, the third division for Season 3, Round 6, where we find ourselves at St. Croix, Circuit de St. Croix, the C variant. And I'm so excited to be here. I am your commentator, Justin Silva, also known as Just Game in Real. This race has been presented by RWB Racing, and it's been sponsored by Detailing Group Inc., Hypri, Pride at the Dragon, and Metropolis, also 12-ounce Sports Network. And I'm actually so excited for this, but we have to flash ourselves back towards last week, where we actually found ourselves at the Metropolis circuit. And why not we start with the podium runners. Taking the race win was RWB Venom. Pushes his way even further for the Drivers' Championship. RWB Little Mac in second, with ART Wooly in third. So a very, very good run turnout for the RWD team here in GTC3. But with that being the podium finishes, let's actually go down to the race results, where we had Venom, Little Mac, and Wooly, as I did state, was our top three. Grays 1 came in fourth, Big Red U of A came in fifth, Carbon Boy in sixth, Leo in seventh. Then we had Renegade in eighth, Green in ninth, Supermex in 10th. Then in 11th we had J-Rod, in 12th we had Egon, 13th we had Clint Freeman, and in 14th we had Bite the Roses. And with that being the race results from last week, let's check our way to the standings, where Venom pushes himself even further away for that Drivers' Championship with 72 points. Wooly in second after getting that podium finish goes up to second with 68 points. Leo in third with 64 points. Then we have Grays 1 in fourth with 60 points. In fifth we have J-Rod with 56 points. Carbon Boy in sixth with 48 points. Little Mac close in seventh with 40 points. And Supermax even closer in eighth with 37 points. Bite the Roses in ninth with 34 points. Renegade in 10th with 32 points. Egon in 11th with 27 points. Green in 12th with 26 points. Big Red U of A in 13th with 22 points. Viper's Fang in 14th with 16 points. I believe they did not participate last week, but I did see that they are here today, so looking for a good turnout for Viper's Fang. And in 15th we had Clint Freeman 83 with 11 points, hoping to make his way up. But that's going to be the standings. But let's look at the starting grid here tonight, where we have Supermex leading the way in first, and sharing that front row is going to be Clint Freeman 83. Then we have Big Red U of A in third, Renegade in fourth, Green in fifth, J-Rod in sixth, Egon in seventh, Bite the Roses in eighth. Ninth is going to be Carbon Boy. In 10th we have Leo. 11th we have Venom. In 12th we have Grays 1. 13th is Little Mac. 14th is Wooly, and Viper's Fang in 15th. And now this is where we are. That is not the right one. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. So we find ourselves here at Circuit de St. Croix, and I just love this track. And I actually had some troubles earlier trying to figure out some facts about Circuit de St. Croix, but I kept on finding out Circuit de Croix in Quebec. So and after that people were telling me that this is actually a made-up track from Gran Turismo. So it's anyone's game here at this point. The tire allocations is going to be one set of softs, one set of mediums, with 1 times the wear of those tires, with 2 times the fuel consumption, and the pit window opens as always from the 50-minute left mark and closes at the 40-minute left mark. Pit outside the window is only for damage. no tires or fuel outside the window. If they use any of those, they'll be getting a 1-minute time penalty. And I do want to say a special thanks to Hypri for all of these graphics to make it an easier job for me, but also a better viewing experience for you guys back at home. But I am super excited to get this underway. But now let's actually look at the track a little bit. We're actually going to go on board with one of the drivers. We're gonna go on board with Wooly and see how he can manage this track. It's gonna be a very tough order for this man, but let's actually get a little bit of a rundown of the track as we are looking at him into turn 3. And special actually fun fact about this track, so Circuit de Saint Croix, as I did say, is actually a fictional track. It is not a real life track, but it does have some real life, it does look like it could be a real life track, to be honest with you guys. But each lap, ladies and gentlemen, is 10.825 kilometers long, or for the people in the US, 6.726 miles. Almost 7 miles and almost 11 kilometers each lap. And we're here for 90 minutes. So these drivers are going to have a very tough time trying to get both the fuel consumption and the tire wear under control, because I was doing some lap earlier. Yeah, a commentator doing some laps. Yes, I know I am crap at the game, but I still wanted to test it out, and it is so difficult. I did one lap and I did practically 10% of my fuel, and I was using the Audi R8. But it looks like today Wooly is going to be looking at potentially using the Corvette here today, the GR3 Corvette. But actually, fun fact of this race is that it's an open concept, so anyone can use any GR3 car that they are willing to use. But going back to Saint Croix, we actually have 24 turns of this track, 12 right-handers and 12 lefts. And yes, I'm 12 lefts. And yes, I actually did count it. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But let's actually go down the GT Champ pit rules. So the pit opens at 50 minutes left in the race, and the pit closes at 40 minutes left in the race. If a damaged car pits, there is going to be no penalty whatsoever. And with a tough track like this, it's practically bound to happen. But it's going to be a very tough order. And if a car exits the pit, actually, if the car enters the pit lane before the 50-minute mark, or if the car exits the pit lane after the 40-minute mark, they will be getting a penalty. And if it's for tires, they get a 1-minute penalty. And if it's for fuel, they also get another 1-minute penalty. So these drivers really need to pick out the correct time and the perfect time to make their way into the pit lane. But as we're looking at Wooly, actually, we're actually going to go on board. Oh, hold on. Let me do this real quick, guys. Sorry about that. But let's see what sort of times we are looking at. So Venom already put in a 3:30.4. So it looks like 3 minutes each lap. It's going to be 3 minutes, almost 3.5 minutes. Well, actually, it is 3.5 minutes each lap from Venom. But it's going to be a very tough order. And I just realized something, guys. So give me a quick second while I try to figure this out. Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to get everything sorted here. Let's see, I think that actually worked. Yes, we are back. We're all set. It looks like we're all good. I'm just waiting for it to come through. There we go. Now we are able to see a little bit of the telemetry at the bottom. I'm actually going to show you guys that real quick. And you can just tell like you can already see ART Wooly did an outlap and is already entering around turn 6, and you can already see the fronts have a little bit of red on them, so those front tires are going to be having a huge problem here today. But it's gonna be a hell of a show as always for GTC3, and it looks like we are about to get underway, and I am actually so excited for this. I've been waiting all week for this because I do want to, me personally, I want to get a little bit of redemption, because last week I actually did mess up a little bit with the stream. There's times where the audio actually didn't go through. And of course I actually messed up some of the drivers' pronunciations of their name. But we're still hoping for a good one, and we are almost underway and we're about to start. But let's actually go through the rundown. So Wooly is actually going for a Corvette, where we're actually seeing Grays go with a Mazda RX Vision GT3 concept, where Little Mac is going for a Corvette as well, and Igoni with a Lexus I'm looking at. A Lexus RCF GT3 Emile Frey Racing. So it could be a good turnout. Another Mazda RX Vision GT3 concept there for Big Red. Little Mac is actually making his way into the pit lane, and yep, and he was using a Corvette. Look how beautiful that Corvette is. GT champions. Where else would we be for me personally, a late night Saturday race, and for actually Viper, which I believe is in Australia, is actually Sunday morning for him. But ATK Leo is also in a Mazda RX Vision, so we're actually seeing a lot of Mazdas out here today. Where Viper Fang is in a Jaguar F-Type GR3, so far he's the only driver we're seeing with that car. Venom is actually using the M6, as he did say at the end of the last race. We have Renegade with the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3 car, a Porsche in Clint Freeman. Look at the livery of that car. That car, actually, I love that car. That car looks sick. And then we have, a McLaren F1 GTR from Green, and that's gonna round up the drivers. But if I would have to say my favorite livery is gonna have to be where was it? Oh, that is not supposed to pop up. Yeah, this car right here, Clint Freeman. Look how beautiful that car looks. I'm sorry, I just love that car. Like, is it just me? Because like it's like a little bit of like a Damascus steel. Like, I love it. I love that car. That has to be the best looking car out there today, in my opinion. But for GT Champ, it will not be without our dedicated sponsors. So up first, we have the Detailing Group Inc., which is a company that carries out the Techless Structures 3D, which is a powerful BIM software, and also in addition to being the leader in the 3D designing world, and with the 3D designing of Techless Structures 3D is mainly for like buildings and like architecture, and it looks outstanding, and it's mainly used for construction building and also in the steel fabricators business. They also do personal quality such project control by personally managing all of Detailing Group's projects to foresee any unexpected surprises. Thank you so much for Detailing Group for being one of our sponsors. Next, we have Metropolis, where Metropolis is a company that develops call centers, call accounting, and 911/emergency management and telemanagement applications for businesses of all types in the US and abroad. Thank you, Metropolis, especially for the 911 and emergency management. Thank you for keeping what's called like 911 respondents busy by actually allowing them to know when there is a situation, a 911 emergency. Thank you so much for actually helping them keep our world safe. We also have Hypri, which is an international esports team based in Mexico, where their members have experience in the real thing, guys, the real racing world, where there's coaching, design, photography, FIA administrations, and of course, real racing, the real thing. Probably going into a real Corvette, just like we see with ART Wooly. And I'm just gonna say, there we go. It looks like we are about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honestly so excited for this. I've been waiting for this all week. But for our last sponsor, we have Pride at the Dragon, which is a vacation event that caters to lesbians, bisexual, I think it's called LGBTQ. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but oh my god, I'm saying it wrong. But as on the website they said, so caters to queer car enthusiasts. They stay at a resort near the Tail of the Dragon, a famous road in North Carolina. They go on drives on the Tail of the Dragon and surrounding roads. And we actually have a special person that leads Pride at the Dragon, and that is actually Taddy, one of our own commentators here at GT Champions. Thank you so much for being one of our sponsors, and of course 12 Ounce Sports Network. Thank you all for being proud sponsors of GTC, and we are so excited to have you guys with us. It is always a pleasure on our end. But yeah, it looks like we're about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen, and looks like a few of the drivers are actually starting to wait out a little bit. We're actually going to go on board with Viper's Fang, who was trying to get a few last-minute practices, got stuck on the grass there. And actually, we're going to go on board with Viper's Fang, as we're going to actually describe this track a little bit. Because with Circuit de Saint Croix, the C variant, like Charlie variant of the track, it is very, very difficult to actually figure out which car you actually want to go in. Because Circuit de Saint Croix has a lot of close corner racing, close, very sharp cornering, but it also has a lot of straights where you see the power unit cars take huge advantage, as we're actually seeing on this right now with Viper's Fang entering sector 4. No, actually entering sector 5, I should say. Sorry guys, entering sector 5, as we have a huge hairpin near the end, and you can get up to speeds almost probably over 200 kilometers an hour in these GT3 cars. But this is gonna be extraordinary, ladies and gentlemen. 90 minutes here at Circuit de Saint Croix. All of the drivers are saying ready. They're ready to go. They are. Oh, and actually we're seeing Viper's Fang crash into the wall there, and that is one key thing about this track. With those tight corners, you really need to get the timing perfectly down, or else you'll be having a damaged car and making your way into the pit lane a little bit earlier. And as you can see, Viper's Fang getting a little bit of frustration in that Alfa Romeo. I think that's no, that's a Jaguar. Am I wrong? We can soon find out. Yes, it's the Jaguar F-Type. Sorry, guys. But yeah, not having a good time there through Sector 5 and the final sector of Sector 6 in that Jaguar. As you can see, just crashing into the wall once again, with having huge engine, suspension, and aerodynamic damage in that car. But it looks like we're about to get underway. I am actually so excited for this, guys. I've been waiting for this all week, and we are about to get our way through. And there we go, Venom has started the final. We are underway for a Circuit de Saint Croix, 90 minutes, 10.8 kilometers long each lap, 24 turns, 14 drivers. We're gonna see who comes out on top, as all of the drivers are waiting on the starting grid, having their lights flashing and ready to... Oh, actually 13 drivers, sorry about that, guys. And we're about to get this race underway. Now we're gonna go up to the front, where we have the drivers all lined up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The engines are roaring. We're all ready for GTC3. There's the green light. Go, go, go. We are ready to start. Clint Freeman actually has a horrendous start off at the bat. Renegade is going to take advantage of that as he enters turn 1. But look at J-Rod actually pushing his way on the inside and is going to make his way towards turn 2. And look at Renegade with the deep dive dish on the inside. But it's not going to be enough. J-Rod still leads the way, and we have a few battles near the back with Egon pushing his way up to 4th place right on the tail end of Big Red in that Big Red Mercedes concept, Mercedes Mazda concept GT3. Oh, hold on. What's happening here? Are we having a restart, guys? Red? Oh, guys, red flag. Red flag. We have a red flag on the board. We're going to have a restart in this race. Looks like we had a little bit of a disconnect from a few drivers. Sorry about that, guys. But, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a reconnect. Looks like there was a little bit of, connectivity issues. But that just gives us a little bit of a taster. That would have been a huge start for Renegade and J-Rod as they were battling each other into turn 2. But J-Rod did come out on top of that battle, but he's gonna have to do it all over again with a little bit of connectivity issues. But we are perfectly fine, guys. We are all good, set to go. Just bear with us for a few moments as we look into this. And I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, guys. So I'm going to go on mute. We'll see you guys in a few seconds. shit. Alright guys, it looks like we are back at it. Sorry for the wait. We're gonna have a quick restart. But the drivers are all here. 13 drivers lined back up on the track. Are we gonna see another outstanding start from J-Rod? From J-Rod and Renegade, but we will have to soon find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Listen to those engines roar as they're ready to start. Circuit the Saint Croix. We're gonna go on board with Renegade, who takes a huge lead. Same with J-Rod, but also Carbon Boy as well as J-Rod. We're gonna see a repeat right before the red flag. J-Rod and Renegade. Renegade now on the outside instead of the inside, and J-Rod pushes his way up to first place. He's going to be having an early lead in that Dodge Viper. What an extraordinary start from J-Rod there. Extraordinary as he pushes his way up to first. And do we have another disconnect? I just saw that on track. I think we have another disconnect, guys. Red flag once again, guys. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Sorry, guys, we need to check into this. We're gonna be right back in a few seconds. But while we wait, we'll actually hear from one of our sponsors. Alright guys, it looks like we got everything underway, but this is going to be our last red flag. This is going to be our last red flag here, guys. As this is going to be it, whether you disconnect or not, we are going to be continuing racing. But yeah, sorry about this, guys, just technical difficulties on some of the drivers' ends. But looks like we're about to get this race up and ready to go. Yeah, but actually this gives a few drivers a little bit of a last minute practice on the track to give themselves a little bit of extra time to get used to the track. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait to see if we got everyone back, and we're about to get ready to restart this. This is gonna be the last red flag, guys, the last red flag here tonight. If there's any disconnects, that's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. But it would be unfortunate to see if there's another red flag, because we all want to see some very good racing. We're at GTC, it's always good racing. But there it is, there's the timer for the third consecutive time. Here we go. We are about to start once again for the third and last time. Is it going to be third time's the charm? At least we all can hope so. But I'm actually going to go on board. I'm at the start of this, I'm actually going to go on board with J-Rod to see how he has such an amazing start. He's able to do it twice now, and let's see if he can do it for a third time as he is waiting for those red lights once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Listen to the engines on those cars as the green lights go, go, go. And here we are. Look at this start from J-Rod. Third time's the charm. Always having that consistency as he's going to be getting a little bit of slipstream from Renegade. And looking the inside once again. It looks like we're about to go 3 wide. Up into third. We have a few scrapes off the wall. And there's a huge battle near the back. But J-Rod does it again. Stays in that first place. Clint Freeman, after having pole position, is now falling down the line as he is down to 8th place now. Well, let's see. Now let's go to the near the back of the grid. Let's see what happened back there. Doesn't look like much, but it looks like Carbon Boy and Big Red U of A are going to be going side by side into the corner. Oh, and we have a spin near the back with Green. Green has spun off the track in that McLaren, and that is not a good start for him whatsoever. Now we're gonna have to see a battle up with Clint Freeman and Big Red U of A once again. But an absolute humongous start from J-Rod and Renegade, getting so many positions as they made their way into turn 1 and then turn 2, having a battle of their own. But J-Rod is the one that comes out on top. Renegade close in second, eyeing down the rear end of that Dodge Viper of J-Rod. An amazing start once again. We'll soon find out if there's anything bruised up between those drivers. And it looks like a lot of clean racing out there. Gray's won with another Mazda just ahead of him of ATK Leo. Let's see if ATK Leo, as we are now entering the bridge sector, this downhill right-hander, then a left to a slight elevation change on the right-hander, and we're going to see Gray's one with a deep dive on the inside, but ATK pulls off the switcheroo, and there's a little bit of a hit near the back. I don't know who that was, and that is Venom, our previous race winner, getting hit with a lot of dirty air entering the bridge entrance sector and just couldn't get it off. But we actually did miss on an overtake from Clint Freeman as Big U of A is going to be having a battle of their own. But now we're going to go up to the front because Renegade will be having a little bit of slipstream, but the power of that Viper is just extraordinary on these starts. As you can see, even with the slipstream, he is pulling away from them. And looks like Big Red U of A has actually gone past Clint Freeman once again and pushed his way up to 4th. That long straight there is going to be so powerful for those power unit cars, like the Viper, like the Mazda, as we did just see Big Red U of A get a huge overtake. Gets a little bit of the dirt on those rubbers, mistimes the braking zone, and he falls into the wall, and that's gonna put Clint Freeman back up to 4th place. But Big Red U of A just falling down the pecking order. But looks like, look at this now, the front 3 having a battle of their own. We're gonna go on board with Carbon in that Corvette. Oh, having a little bit of a slide, going over the curb a little bit too much, and loses out a little bit. Actually, no, it's not a Corvette, it's a Ferrari. Sorry about that, guys. I do know my cars, I just have to take a second look at it. But yeah, that's very unfortunate. Now we're going to go on board with ATK, who is going to be bump drafting Clint Freeman into turn 2. Could be looking to move into turn 1 actually, but Clint Freeman closes the door as he's looking on the inside. And Clint Freeman keeps 4th place. ATK Leo still going to be battling out with Clint Freeman. Look how close he is to that rear wing of the Porsche. As he's looking for it, he's going on the inside. It looks like a good battle here as ATK looks on the inside, and also Gray's one was looking for a potential overtake, a potential double overtake there, but it looks like him and ATK Leo got a little bit of contact through that corner, and that's actually going to help Clint Freeman keep in that 4th place. But look at this now, ATK with the overtake on the inside. And now they're going to go 3 wide, potentially, into the short right-hander. Clint Freeman takes the defensive position on the inside. And we also just saw Grace 1 just overtake ATK up to 5th place. Early battles in this race, ladies and gentlemen. As with them two battling out, Clint Freeman is now going to be able to pull away a little bit from those Mazda cars, as they actually have a little bit of a better engine than the Porsche here today. But now we're going to go back up to the front, where it does look like J-Rod is starting to pull away a little bit from Carbon Boy and Renegade. But J-Rod has had such an amazing race here today. And it's only been like about 5 minutes, but we're actually going to cue back to see how we had that extraordinary start. So it looks like he was right at the beginning, just waiting for those lights to go. As we are waiting now, actually. It's taking a while. There we go. Now we're seeing the red lights. Let's see how exactly this man was able to get such an extraordinary start. Looks like right there, yep, you can see just getting on the traction a lot better than the drivers up ahead. Same with Renegade, but just had a better start than Renegade, and the power unit of that Dodge Viper is just extraordinary as he pushes his way up to 1st and stays in 1st as it stands. Well done to J-Rod. Carbon Boy in 2nd as he previously overtook Renegade in the turns. And look at this now, Grays 1, ATK, and Clint Freeman all having a battle for that 4th place once again. And it looks like Grace 1 and ATK Leo got past the Porsche, and that's all I was saying, that those Mazda units are just extraordinarily fast compared to that Porsche. As you can see, they're starting to pull away a little bit now from Clint Freeman. And now Clint Freeman is going to be having ART Wooly on the tail end. Egon is actually was almost gone off the track into the wall, but was able to take control of that Lexus and stay in 8th place. A good recovery from him right there. But now it looks like it's going to be Clint Freeman versus a Porsche, as Carbon Boy gets the fastest lap with a 3:30.9. Oh, look at this now. We're going to go on board. He's looking on the outside, now looking on the inside. And he goes past Clint Freeman. Clint Freeman just not defending, but could be actually preserving a little bit of fuel on that car as they enter around turn 2. Clint Freeman was looking on the inside, but just couldn't get the job done. But now we're going to go up front a little bit with ATK and Grays 1. Them two having a battle as they start to pull away from the Porsche driver. It's going to be a tough order for those drivers out there, as they now enter turn 3, a sharp right-hander hairpin, and looks like ATK Leo lost a little bit of time on the entry, but gained it back on the exit of that turn as we now enter turns 4, 5, and then a sharp right-hander, 90-degree turn of turn 6. But let's actually look near the back of the grid. Actually, it looks like Viper's Fang is actually trying to keep up with the Lexus driver of Egon just ahead. The time is shortening between those two drivers, but it's not going to be enough to make any sort of desperate move here. And if he tried to, it would have been a very ambitious one. But look at this now. J-Rod still leads the way in that Viper. Just having the perfect racing line, having all of that clean air ahead of him, and just having such an amazing power unit on that Dodge Viper. But the thing is he kind of using a little bit too much, as they're going to be potentially looking at an early pit stop in this race. And that could be time penalties for that man, but we'll have to wait and see how he does in that Viper. as he's going into the long straight. This is like the key part of this track. If you have the power unit, just go all out here if you need to get away with someone and just preserve fuel. If you're behind someone, just get that little bit of slipstream, save some fuel while using that slipstream. But you can see how far behind Grays 1 is from J-Rod, as you can barely see the livery on that Mazda. But J-Rod still having an extraordinary race as he still leads after turn 2. Well done to J-Rod. Had an unfortunate race back at Autopolis, but having an early start here at St. Croix. We're actually gonna go back down. Oh, actually it looks like Wooly got an overtake on ATK. Let's actually see how that happened. And it looks like it was on that straight right before they entered that turn. ATK was looking on the inside for a sec there, trying to make a fake move to push Wooly wide, but Wooly stays in 5th. That Corvette having such a good power unit compared to the Mazda, and with the slipstream, extraordinary scenes, as Wooly has gained a few positions now on that Corvette early on in this race. But look at this now, ATK trying to get a little bit of slipstream, but getting a lot of dirty air instead, as just on the final corner loses out 2/10 compared to Wooly. And it's actually tough for him to keep up now, as with the slipstream it's not going to be aiding him that much, making his way into turn 1. This fast, full throttle left-hander, as he breaks around the 100 meter mark as always. But the downforce of that Mazda is actually pretty good as well. But that just makes you question, what is the fuel consumption on those cars? Because me personally, I know the Ferrari, which we actually see Carbon Boy in, is actually, it takes a lot of fuel to get that car up and going, especially on full throttle, trying to get as fast as you can. It takes a lot of fuel early on. But it's going to be a tough order for these drivers here. Doesn't look like anyone has gotten any overtakes as of yet. Oh, but I'm looking at a spin near the back of 6th actually, of ATK. Let's actually see how that happened. We're gonna go on board with this man. Looks like right on the tail end of Wooly, as coming to this tricky right-hander, and yeah, just going way too wide, hitting the gravel, and does a whole 180. Saves the car from any sort of damage, but the only damage that he got was his dignity. But he still stays in 6th place, as he is right ahead of Viper's Fang, but still lost a lot of time and probably lost a lot of tire life on those tires in that Mazda. But we will soon find out if he can carry on with that sort of pace, as we're now seeing Wooly just gain like a bunch of time compared to Grays 1 during the entry of the bridge sector, the bridge straight. Wooly gained about 6/10 coming out of the exit on that left-hander, and with the power unit of that Corvette just being a little bit better than the Mazda here tonight, we could be seeing him gain a lot of time here, as it looks like Grays 1 has crashed out into the wall. What has happened to Grays 1? Oh, actually no, he has not crashed out. It was camera tricks, guys. Haha, gotcha all. But Grays 1 still in 4th place from what it looks like. Probably having a little bit of connectivity issues, to be honest with you. But oh, it looks like we're having a battle near the back with Clint Freeman right on the tail end of Viper's Fang, but also with Egon and Little Mac, as Little Mac is gonna look on the inside on that Corvette. Well, in that Corvette, braking a little bit later on the inside, trying to get the position, and he's got it. Pushed his way up to 9th place with that overtake on Egon. Well done to Little Mac. But the thing is, with him making that overtake, this could actually help Egon. By having that little bit of slipstream, he's able to actually save a little bit of fuel. Potentially. But it's going to be a very, very tough order. it's going to be a very, very tough order. But the thing is, with this being such a long track and having so many long straights, with the fuel saving and the tire wear preserving, it is a very, very tough order for these drivers out here. It's a very tough order, because you're practically going full throttle on these straights, trying to catch up with the driver ahead, trying to get in that slipstream to help you preserve a little bit of fuel, but it's not going to be enough. But look at that, Little Mac right on the tail end. Is going to be right on the tail end now of Clint Freeman, who started in pole position at the beginning of this race. And Little Mac with the slipstream. Is he going to look for a move? He is on the inside, and he's able to get it with Clint Freeman just behind, trying to look for an outside move. Slides a little bit on those rubbers, but Little Mac with a clean overtake stays in 8th place. So well done to that man, getting 2 overtakes within 1 lap length of track. But look at this, Viper's Fang is starting to slow down a little bit. That could give Little Mac an opportunity to get into the striking distance and take 7th place. But we will soon find out. We're actually going to check back with our back runner of Big Red U of A, who unfortunately had that huge incident while battling out with Clint Freeman, I do believe. And he has fallen down, crashed into the wall, having a lot of damage. Probably made a pit stop for that damage. But he is now in 13th, and very unfortunate to see for that man, but it looks like he is going to stay in 13th and keep pushing forward. But now look at the gap now between Wooly and Grays 1 is now down to almost less than the 10th. Yep, and now is less than the 10th between the Corvette and the Mazda for that 4th place position. We're gonna go on board and we're just gonna see how powerful that car is. As you can see, he's just getting a little bit of slipstream, but trying to preserve the fuel as well. Potentially not making a move here just of yet, but he is gonna shorten that gap a little bit. Yep, you can hear him low throttle, trying to preserve the fuel, brake a little bit earlier coming into these corners just to play it safe, preserve that fuel for the long run. It's definitely going to benefit him for the long run, but we'll have to wait and see. And it looks like Graves 1 is starting to pull away from the Corvette, and this is where we see the Mazda at work in these tight corners, having the better aerodynamics and just having the better traction on the track. He's able to pull away from the power unit cars of the Corvette, but not the Viper, as we did see earlier, trying to battle out with them and just didn't go to plan. But looks like Grays 1 is going to be keeping that 4th place as of time now. But it looks like Viper Fangs is going to be right on the tail end of Little Mac coming out of this exit. And it looks like the Jaguar driver of Viper's Fang is going to keep on pushing for that 7th place. But it looks like Little Mac got a little bit of a better exit coming out of that turn. But now, am I looking at this? Clint Freeman right almost on the tail end of Egon. But I still got to say, that is my favorite looking car on the track, me personally. But previously, Clint Freeman with a lap time of a 3:38, where we actually checked with J-Rod, his time was a 3:30.3, and that's his fastest lap time. And then with Wooly still having the fastest lap of a 3:30.294, and just still trying to push on, trying to gain a position. Grace 1 looks like had a little bit of a slip coming out of that exit, and is still making his way through. We're not going to go back down to 8th place with Viper's Fang looks like actually was previously right on the tail end of Little Mac, but Little Mac's starting to pull away a little bit. Looks like Viper's Fang is going to be starting to fuel save a little bit. You can just hear in the engine of that car with the gear shifting, trying to preserve a little bit of fuel and tires. But the thing is, he has to do it quick because we only have 20 minutes until the pit window opens. And the thing is, I wonder, is there anyone that's going to be running out of fuel before the pit window opens? And if I would say anyone, I would potentially say Carbon Boy, mainly because Carbon Boy with that Ferrari just takes a lot of fuel out of that car. If he's not going to be able to do the correct fuel saving, it could have him take an early leave in this race. But now we're going to go back down to 4th and 5th place, where we're now seeing Wooly gain a little bit of time on Gray's One on this long straight. Those Corvettes have such an amazing power unit. As we can see, the gap shorten and shorten and shorten, and Gray's One gets a little bit of a Slenderman boost. Oh, actually, Gray's One has left the session. Gray's One has disconnected, and Wooly is going to go up to 4th place. Very unfortunate to see from Gray's One, just not having the best connectivity out there. Lasted around 20 minutes, but couldn't last the full 90 minutes. Very unfortunate for Gray's One. Was looking to try and find a good result here tonight, but it's not going to be paying out for him. Not going to be paying out for him. Well, we can just hope for that next week it could be a better connectivity. But as it stands now, Gray's One has disconnected and will not be rejoining. Carbon Boy sees the Viper just ahead, trying to keep that distance. And you can just see coming through turn 1, just having a tough time on those rubbers. Probably starting to degrade a little bit now. And yeah, you can already see the power unit of that Viper. It's just so powerful. Like like that power unit is so powerful. As he's just starting to pull away a little bit from the Ferrari. But now we're gonna go down to Egon, trying to catch up with Viper's Fang. But Viper's Fang starting to lose out a little bit to Little Mac, as I did say in the previous laps, but losing out by a detrimental amount now. As it's now 17 minutes until the pit window opens. And we're going to be seeing who's going to be the one to come out on top. But it looks like there's a battle for 9th place with Green, who had that spin early on in this race and crashes out on one of the restarts. Now finds himself up to 9th place, and with that McLaren, the McLaren actually has one of the best engines for the GT3 scene. But of course you can already see that Green is trying to stay green with the fuel and the tire wear. He has the green car, he has the green name, and potentially having some green fuel meters and tire monitors. Just trying to preserve as much as he can in that McLaren. Because even though that McLaren is super quick, it takes a lot of fuel as he's trying to slide and negotiate with those rubbers coming through that corner. And it's going to be a very tough order for that man there. Clint Freeman close on the rear in that Porsche. But now we're going to go back up front where J-Rod and Carbon Boy just still pulling away by a huge margin to Renegade. And Renegade just cannot compete with that sort of pace. But look at this now. Green is still trying to hold off Clint Freeman, who took pole position, but it's just struggling to try and keep a high position, like a points finish position, as Green is starting to pull away a little bit through the bridge. But it's a very tough order for these drivers to keep it clean, keep it consistent, especially at a track like this where there's a lot of tough corners, a lot of tight corners, but also a lot of straights. And without that slipstream, you could definitely lose out on a lot of pace. But you can already see it. Look at the pace, because look at the delta just shortened down quickly between Green and Egon. That McLaren does have extraordinary pace here tonight, but the cornering is where it lacks out of. Has a huge slim line build, that McLaren car, and just having an extraordinary power unit, but when it comes to taking corners, it is a tough part trying to negotiate with the rubbers and the concrete, and trying to negotiate to a positive solution. And if not, if they get declined, they'll be going right into the grass and potentially into the wall. But Green is staying off the green, but keeping the rest of that car nice and shiny green. He's going to stay in ninth place. Clint Freeman has actually lost a lot of pace near the back, down to 10th. And now it's going to be having Venom right on the tail end. Let's see if Venom can capitalize on this. Venom gets the better exit, gets the slipstream, and bump straps Clint Freeman. A huge boost to Clint Freeman. So Venom actually helped out Freeman there. And Freeman pushes Venom into the grass. And Venom does keep the car in control, but those rubbers gotta be a little bit dirty as he's trying to negotiate around turn 2. Clint Freeman just defending against Venom quite aggressively, but Venom looking for the move now, having the better pace, looking on the inside, and he's got it. Pushes his way up to the top 10. Well done to Venom. But Clint Freeman trying to take back that position. That position was rightfully his, and he just lost out of it. But now we're going to go back to the front, where we're seeing Carbon Boy starting to catch up a little bit with J-Rod into these coming corners. But now we are looking at it 13 minutes until the pit window opens. And it's going to be close between all of these drivers. "13 minutes, and the thing is, who is going to be able to preserve all of that fuel for that long of a distance? A very, very tough order out there for those drivers. As around 3 minutes is one lap, and one full tank, if you go all out, will probably give you around 6 laps of fuel. But we're now down to the 8th lap, almost to the 9th, and these drivers are still going at it. You can give the praise to these drivers, keeping a conservative roll on those fuels, on those tires, as he stays in the lead. J-Rod, of course, but it's going to be very, very tough to see who's going to be coming out on top. It could be anyone at this point. You can look away for 1 second, look back, and then there's going to be a huge crash. But now Green is now catching up to Egon on this long straight, trying to get into that slipstream, which he has caught up to now. He's in the slipstream. Could be looking at a late move on the outside as Egon defends on the inside, but Green decides to pull away out of that battle, and it's going to be using Egon for a little bit of slipstream into these corners. Egon trying to keep that car on the concrete, hits a little bit of the grass on the outside and the inside just then, hitting the apex. But look at this now, Green just having such an amazing roll here, right behind two potential cars of Egon and Viper's Fang. But look at this now, less than a second between Green and Egon. Is Green gonna go for it here? Having the faster exit, he has the slipstream. Is he gonna go for it now? He's gonna go for it. Egon tries to defend on the outside, but the inside is the way to go. And Green's gonna push his way up to 8th place, coming across the finishing straight. Well done to Green. But now look at this. Now look at this. Green is gonna be eyeing down Viper's Fang, the Jaguar F-Type, just ahead. And we're gonna see who comes out on top. But this is actually what Egon wanted. He wanted to have someone just ahead with a lot of pace, a lot of skill, but still have not that good of a pace to where he can pull away 1 second on a straight. And now Green, without even realizing, has given Egon a boost, a little bit of slipstream into all of these corners. And it's going to help him preserve a little bit of fuel. But as I say that, Egon takes a super wide line there and loses a lot of pace, as he now falls down to 1.4 seconds behind Green coming into this left-hander. It's a very tough part of this race to see if you can keep that sort of pace. But now look at this. Wooly is starting to catch up a little bit with Renegade for that podium finish. And Wooly's been so consistent throughout the races. Has done such an amazing job. And it looks like he can get it once again here on this straight. It's going to be having the better power unit, having the slipstream right behind the Mercedes AMG of Renegade. Is he gonna look for the move here? 3/10, 2/10, 1/10, but he decides to back out of it. Does the same thing with Green, backs out of that battle on that short right-hander, and it's gonna be staying right behind that Mercedes. But with that happening, this is where Renegade really needs to pick up the pace, try to get the best corner lines throughout all of these turns to start pulling away a little bit of Wooly. But it looks like Wooly has done a very good job here. We're actually, while we take this time, actually it looks like we could have a battle up the front where Carbon Boy is actually close to being within a second of J-Rod. That battle between those two drivers has been extraordinary here tonight, as they both have just a consistent pace and speed. As I say that, Carbon Boy had a little bit of a slip up going out of the exit of turn 2, but was able to keep control of that Ferrari and stay in second place. We're not going to go back down with Renegade and Wooly, where Wooly now is within 1.2 seconds of the Mercedes AMG up ahead. And the only question is Wooly playing with his food at this point? Because he could be getting all of these positions at any time he would like. But he doesn't want to make it to where the one time he doesn't do it, the one time that he doesn't make that move, is going to be too late. But there's still plenty of time, as now it's coming near the 7-minute mark, where we have 7 minutes away until the pit lane opens. And now Renegade right ahead of Wooly. Wooly keeping the pace of that Corvette with the Mercedes. And it looks like just having better quarter lines compared to Renegade. It looks like Renegade is losing out a lot of traction in that Mercedes, especially now as they come down to the downhill right-handers right before the bridge sector. Let's see if Wooly can get the job done. And Renegade gets a little bit of a wide line there, just losing a lot of time on that exit. As you can see by the time delta on the top left, Renegade is now falling down the pecking order through that bridge, but just having a better corner better traction around the corners, better aerodynamic package of that Mercedes. And that is where Wooly really loses out. Where Wooly has a worse aerodynamic package in that Corvette, but makes up for it in the power, especially with this track, as we're now looking at it, Wooly right behind Renegade on this long straight. Is this gonna be where he makes the move? Backed out of it previously, but he's gonna go for it, and he gets it done on the inside. ART Wooly finds himself back in the podium positions. But now we're gonna go a little bit near the back of the grid of 8th place, where we're seeing Venom right behind Green in that BMW M3. Looking on the inside, what an overtake that we had just seen. The balls of that man. Let's actually check an instant replay of that. Going on this downhill right-hander, saw the space and just took it as he pushes his way up to 7th place. What an overtake that is. And then Green is going to be giving him a little bit of a bump draft into the forwarding corners. But Green loses out completely. Venom finds himself in the top 7. Extraordinary from what we just saw there. Carbon Boy still having a little bit of a slide through turn 2. But look at this now. Renegade is starting to catch up a little bit with Wooly. As you can see, look, you can barely fit a slice of paper between those two cars. They're so close. But look at this now. Renegade right on the tail end, trying to keep up with the driver ahead. But let's see, braking around the 150. That with him losing a little bit of that braking zone. But look at this, having a better exit. Was looking for the inside move there. Wooly takes a little bit of a late turn, late braking zone to carry as much momentum as he can through turn 4. And now to the double apex of turn 5 and 6. Wooly still stays ahead, and that battle is going to be continuing to brew. But let's say we have a battle near the back with Green and Venom still having that battle, but Venom still pulling away a little bit. Where Green, even though in that McLaren, is struggling to try and keep the pace with the BMW up ahead. But let's say this is the main battle that we are waiting to see happen. And look at this now, Renegade up to 4th, well down to 4th I should say, after previously being overtaken by Wooly. But let's see if he's gonna go for it. 3 minutes left until the pit window opens. And the only question is, are you gonna go with an early pit stop, try and go just after the 50-minute mark? Or are you gonna go later, just before the 40-minute mark? It's a tough question for those drivers out there, and we will soon find out which one comes out on top. Renegade with a huge slide on the bridge exit, hits the wall a little bit on the outside of this long gray hander. Sorry guys, it's been a long day for me. And Renegade starting to lose a little bit of pace, probably has a little bit of aerodynamic damage on that Mercedes car. He's having a little bit more drag than what he would have wanted. But as it stands now, he still stays in 4th place. Now almost 2 seconds behind Wooly. But it really makes you question, as we actually do see him in the Mercedes. We actually a few days ago saw the Mercedes F1 livery, and I think a lot of people were excited about that, including myself, mainly because it showed that the silver arrows are back. They are back and ready to make light happen. But there we go, 1 minute left, and that could be giving these back drivers a little bit of a potential undercut opportunity. That's it. It is going to be very close to see who's going to be the first person to go into the pits. But yeah, look at this green just right behind, just taking so much of the corner. Just really trying to test out the track limits here to corner cut a little bit, but stay within the track limits and trying to keep up with Venom. But he is still losing a lot of pace behind. 35 seconds until the pit window is open, ladies and gentlemen. Now down to 30 seconds. Is going to be close. Who's going to be the first person to make a pit stop? And who is going to be the first person to lose out? 20 seconds left. Is not going to be Viper's Fang. Is not going to be Egon. Is it going to be near the ones in the back? 10 seconds left until the pit window opens. Clint Freeman, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The pit window is now open for business, ladies and gentlemen. Big Red U of A could be the first driver to make his way into the pit lane as it is nearing it. Let's actually check out the tire wear. So it looks like Big Red U of A actually got a lot of tire wear. Oh, but look at this. J-Rod is super low on the fuel coming to the end. Same with Carbon Boy. So Carbon Boy actually preserved a lot more fuel than J-Rod up ahead. I mean, he did have a lot better slipstream there, so it does show. But look at this. Venom with the BMW preserving a lot of fuel. Green as well. Viper's Fang. Actually, Viper's Fang has front left damage of that Jaguar. So will not just only be getting a new tire and fuel, but has mechanical damage. Same goes with Egon on the rear. And Clint Freeman has front right damage on that car from what it looks like, but Big Red of A just holding out as much as he can. But it looks like we're going to be looking at potentially the front runners make their way into the pit lane. Wooly actually gets the fastest lap so far with a 3:29. And I actually just realized I had the banner on while I went through all those tires. So we're gonna go through it now as they're gonna be making their way into the pit lane. Look how much fuel J-Rod has. He is preserving as much as he can, just doing an excellent job on the fuel front, as he's almost run out of fuel making his way into the pit lane. But Carbon Boy as well preserving a lot of fuel. Same goes with Renegade and Wooly. ATK Leo actually preserving a little bit more than what he would like, trying to make that car as light as possible. Venom is now in the red with the fuel. Green is about to be there soon, actually. Same goes with Viper's Fang. Egon has a little bit of fuel and a few damages near the back. But now we're going to be seeing Carbon Boy stay out. J-Rod is going to be making his way into the pit lane for a new set of tires. Going to be changing to a set of softs. And look at that, 0% fuel as he made his way into the pit lane. He's going to be looking at potentially a full tank making his way out of that pit lane. Just to play safe, Renegade and Wooly also stay out. But this could give J-Rod a huge opportunity with a new set of softs now. Could be looking at a huge undercutting moment. ATK Leo also makes his way into the pit lane with 24% fuel left in that car. With that set of mediums, Little Mac decides to stay out. Just look how quick this pit crew goes at it. And there you go, puts in the fuel. Venom also makes his way into the pit lane as well, with 6% 6% fuel left in that BMW. The green pit crew matching the white, green, and gray BMW. Looks extraordinary, empowered. As Viper's Fang and Egon also make their way into the pit lane with 8% fuel on Viper and 6% fuel on Egon. And yeah, everyone is opting for a full tank as they make their way back out onto the track. But we're actually going to look at this now with J-Rod having a full tank now, but also having soft tires is going to be having a huge undercut now. potentially, we're gonna have to see if it's powerful or not, or if it's a negative effect, as we're now looking at 34.1 seconds behind Carbon Boy. We're gonna check back to see how he does. But now look at this, Renegade still trying to keep the pace in the podium positions now, but not in the provisional podium as it stands. Could be looking at a overtake on Wooly, as he still slides a little bit on that bridge exit. Still struggling to tame that beast of the bridge exit turn. But we can only wait and see if he can make a move. But it's going to be getting very, very close, as it looks like J-Rod is now 33.6 seconds behind Carbon Boy. Carbon Boy could be looking at a pit stop now. If he stays out, he's going to be really challenging to see if he can stay out one more lap, because the pit window will be closed within 5 minutes time. And we will have to wait and see. Renegade still trying to tame the beast. Goes on the grass a little bit. Has a little bit of dirt in those rubbers, but is able to shake them off as quick as he could to make his way and still pursue the blue Corvette up ahead. As we're looking at it now, does Carbon Boy make his way into the pit lane? Yes, he does, for a set of softs with 4% fuel left over. Same goes with ART Wooly, and the same goes with Renegade. Actually, Renegade was on a set of softs early on in this race. That probably aided him with that extraordinary start, but really had those softs run off near the end of it. As we can see now, changing for the set of mediums, he's going to be potentially looking at a full tank of gas. As J-Rod comes back out in the lead, Carbon Boy just ahead of the pit exit. But let's see, is J-Rod gonna retake that first place? And yes, he does. But it looks like the undercut wasn't that strong. Looks like with Carbon Boy staying out one extra lap has actually helped Carbon Boy. It actually decreased the gap between the two. And we're actually gonna see how close it was. Yeah, oh, actually I just saw that. It's Carbon Boy looking for a move on the inside. He is, and he's got it. Oh, actually no, not just yet. They're gonna go side by side on turn 4, J-Rod on the inside, Carbon Boy on the outside. Now on the inside, Carbon Boy, as we make our way into turns 5 and 6. J-Rod trying to do the switcheroo, breaks later on the inside, and he has got it. Look at that battle between J-Rod and Carbon Boy. But this battle is still alive, ladies and gentlemen. Carbon Boy now on the inside, making the way into turn 7, and he's gonna get the better traction coming out of the exit. And then now turn 8, J-Rod still on the outside of Carbon Boy, and J-Rod has the better traction, and he's gonna stay in the lead. Very good clean racing between the two drivers. Extraordinary scenes that we have just witnessed. Well done, as J-Rod leads the way ahead of Carbon Boy, leading into the bridge sector. And we're actually gonna check back on that battle, because that battle was extraordinary. Because we can see Carbon Boy getting the slipstream, having the high fuel load. J-Rod tried to defend on the inside, couldn't get it done. Carbon Boy was looking to lead coming out of this exit, but had to give the space to J-Rod, as J-Rod now had the inside, making his way into turn 4, as they're now still side by side. And then we just saw an extraordinary switcheroo from J-Rod on Carbon Boy. That's got to be overtake of the season so far. But it did not stay, as Carbon Boy and J-Rod were still going side by side. Carbon Boy on the inside, as you can see, trying to stay ahead of J-Rod, but just couldn't get it done. A very tough corner, especially for the car that he's in, and he had to back out. But what a battle we just witnessed. And Carbon Boy still in second, still losing a little bit of time behind J-Rod, but them two should be proud, because that's gotta be battle of the season so far. What an extraordinary battle between first and second place. And I want to see it again. That's all I'm saying. I want to see it again. But as it stands now, J-Rod has the lead in this race. Carbon Boy close in second. ART Wooly has third place. Renegade down to fourth. ATK Leo in fifth. Then we have Little Mac in sixth. Venom up to seventh. Green in eighth. Then we also have Viper's Fang in ninth. Egon in 10th. Clint Freeman down to 11th after having pole position. And then Big Red at U of A down to 12th. But look at this now. Is Carbon Boy going to be looking for it once again? Making his way through. J-Rod trying to break the slipstream. But J-Rod, this is not going to be enough to break the slipstream. But Carbon Boy, it was not going to be enough to try and make that battle continue. It would have been a very ambitious dive on the inside, and Carbon Boy stays in second place right behind J-Rod in that Viper. As I do believe we did see the Viper at Kyoto, and we're seeing it dominate here once again at Circuit de Saint Croix. As we're now looking at 39 minutes left in this race. The pit window has been closed now for a whole minute. No more pit stops, ladies and gentlemen, unless you have damage to your vehicle. But it's going to be a very, very close battle near the end of this. But as we wait for these drivers to get an extraordinary finish in this race, we're actually going to check back once again with our sponsors of GT Champions, where we have Detailing Group, a company that carries out Tekla Structures 3D, which is a powerful BIM software, in addition to being the leader in the 3D designing world for for architectures like buildings, especially for steel fabricators and construction. So thanks to Detailing Group, we also have Metropolis, which is a company that develops call centers, call accounting, 911 and emergency management and telemanagement applications for businesses of all types in the US and abroad. Thank you so much to Metropolis. Then we have Pride at the Dragon, which is a vacation event that caters to LGBTQ car enthusiasts, LGBTQ plus to be exact, car enthusiasts. They stay at a resort near the Tail of the Dragon, which is a famous road in North Carolina. They go on drives on the Tail of the Dragon and surrounding roads. And of course we also have Hypri, which is an international esports team based in Mexico, where their members have experience in the real thing, from coaching, design, photography, FIA administration, and of course real racing. Special thanks to them for the graphics, as it makes a better job for us commentators, but also a better viewing experience for you guys back at home. And we also have a sponsor of 12 Ounce Sports Network. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We are heavily grateful to have you all sponsor GT Champions and help us grow, and we hope that we do the same for you. But yeah, that's gonna be all of the words from our sponsors. Thanks again to all of our sponsors for GT Champions. But now we're gonna stay ahead with this battle for first place. Carbon Boy, after being within two tenths of the driver ahead, is gonna be very, very close. As I just realized, I forgot to put on the banner after I chose the telemetry. Oh, hold on. Renegade goes into the pit lane. Does he have damage to his vehicle? We're gonna check this. No tire changes, no fuel. Yeah, he has damage to his vehicle as he exits out of the pit lane, up down to 5th now after being overtaken by ATK Leo. So Renegade, very unfortunate to see, my man, after having such a good race at the beginning, is now falling down to 5th after exiting the pit lane for damage on that vehicle. It makes you feel, it actually does hurt me a little bit to see, because Renegade has had such an amazing race, but just lost it out a little bit in the middle of the race, as we're now looking at 35 minutes left in this endurance race. And Carbon Boy is now on the tail end of J-Rod. We're gonna go on board with Carbon Boy to see how he is doing. You can just see that it's actually quite tough for him to actually have a good view in that car, but he is able to manage it, take control of that Ferrari, try to follow behind the Viper, and it's just, you can see that he's struggling with the traction a little bit, even with those new set of softs. It's just tough to claim, and well, not claim, but tame this track with those set of softs, especially behind such a fast runner of J-Rod. But it looks like J-Rod has done everything he needed to do today, just having such an extraordinary race. But as it stands now, he still leads the way ahead of Carbon Boy. And that could be the end of this, to be honest with you, to be the end of this battle. As we're now looking at it, Carbon Boy is starting to fall behind a little bit of J-Rod. As you can see, the GT Champions livery of that car is just extraordinary to see, to be honest with you. I just love the look of these liveries. Like, this Ferrari actually reminds me of the Audi that I have, actually. I recently... Actually, we're going to give a quick shout out to Average Tom, also known as Average Viper, after giving me my very own GT Champions livery for an Audi R8 LMS 2015. And has done an exceptional job. And if you're on the Discord, you can actually see a lot of the liveries that he makes in his free time, because they are just so beautiful. It's just the creativity of that man is extraordinary. And honestly, big praise to Average Viper / Average Tom. Thank you so much, as I'm going to be rocking that livery for years to come. Even when this game dies, I will still use that livery. But look at this now. Carbon Boy is going to be right on the tail end of J-Rod. Almost hits the wall on the inside. Breaks around the 150. Right behind J-Rod, but still struggling to keep the pace. Probably needs to brake just a little bit more instead of the 150. Even though is going to be losing a lot of braking distance because of him having slipstream. Still struggling to keep some sort of pace behind J-Rod. J-Rod just been very consistent in this race. Just super consistent tonight. But look at this now. J-Rod actually got a super wide line there, making their way out of turn 4. And Carbon Boy trying to negotiate with the Ferrari to keep in pace with the Dodge Viper. Is Italia versus the American Muscle for the lead. Because, am I right? The Dodge Viper is a muscle car, technically, right? I think I'm right about that. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter to car people, but I am not I'm not like a huge car person, even though I would love to. There's just a lot of stuff that I need to figure out first about cars. Like, for one, probably get a driver's license, because the only license that I have is for a motorcycle. And me personally, I don't think I'll ever be able to get used to a car in my lifetime, because honestly, I just have that tendency to just, like, I'm just scared of, like, losing out of, like, the awareness, especially parallel parking. Jesus Christ, parallel parking can be a huge pain. But we're looking now down where Renegade has actually lost out to Little Mac. Let's see how that happened there. Looks like Little Mac got a little bit of a wider line coming out of this exit. Yeah, just not getting the traction down, going on the gravel, hitting into the wall, and falls down to 6th place. Very unfortunate to see from the AMG driver. And honestly, had such an amazing start, but it's just starting to struggle a little bit coming to the near end of this race. But we hope that he still stays out, as there's only around 30 minutes left in this race, where Carbon Boy and J-Rod has had a super long battle from ever since the start of this race to even till now, 17 laps. And that battle for first place is still truly underway and truly alive and still brewing more life. And it's such a tough battle to see, because we actually saw a very good battle between these two drivers earlier on in this race, just a few laps prior. But Carbon Boy just couldn't get the job done. We have to praise him though, having such a clean battle through turns 3 all the way down to the bridge sector, the bridge entrance, which I believe is turn 10, if I count that real quick. No, actually turn 12. So right at the midpoint of the turns, turn 12. Had such an amazing battle, but J-Rod still led the way in that Viper. As we're seeing Carbon negotiate with the Apex on the inside, trying to stay in close proximity of J-Rod, but J-Rod just has that pace. And it is very unfortunate to see, because near the back with 6th place, Renegade, even though having the fastest lap, it's just not having an enjoyable race. We're also with Venom. Venom has actually had a pretty good race in that BMW, has done the best that he can, but we could potentially be looking at a new Drivers' Champion leader at the end of this race, where Green has made his way into the pit lane. Has he gotten damage on that car? Yeah, he has damage to the McLaren. You can just hear the power of that V12 engine McLaren. Like, that reminds me of like Formula 1 cars. I mean, it's a McLaren F1 GT3, but yeah, it just really shows the raw power of that McLaren. Well done to Green, but unfortunate to see. Oh, hold on, I'm looking at a mishap up the front with Carbon Boy. Carbon Boy has lost out. What has happened to Carbon Boy? Looks like right down on this downhill of the bridge. Oh, just getting a little bit too much sliding. Hits the grass and just spins off the track. And that's going to be giving Wooly an opportunity to go into 2nd place. So very unfortunate for Carbon Boy. Has had such an amazing race, but just one mistake can ruin it all. And that goes to all the drivers out here today. But now 27 minutes left, where J-Rod has had now an even more comfortable lead. But also has Carbon gotten a little bit of rear damage. Oh wow, I'm looking at it now. So Carbon has both rear bumper damage, but also engine damage. He's gonna be having to make a pit stop, and we could be seeing ATK Leo push his way into the podium positions. We're actually gonna go down to him now, because you can see the gap between him and Carbon Boy just shortened down by second. That engine is seriously damaged on our Carbon Boy's Ferrari. Oh wow. So how many drivers is that now? I think that's the 3rd driver that had to pit after the pit window closed for vehicle damage. I think it was first with Renegade, then with Green, and now we have Carbon Boy. But look at that now. ATK Leo is now 9 seconds behind Carbon Boy. And ATK Leo is going to be making this an easy overtake. Unless Carbon Boy nope, Carbon Boy does make his way into the pit lane. Gotta feel for the guy. Having such an amazing race, but just losing out because of one crucial mistake. Goes into the pit lane, fixes that rear bumper, fixes the engine. And fixing the suspension potentially as well, as he exits out of the track just ahead of Little Mac. And Carbon Boy is now down to 4th place. But it's getting very close between all of these drivers now on the track. We have Carbon Boy, who just exited out of the pit lane for having damage to the rear end of that Ferrari. Looking to be pretty good now coming out of that pit lane, but it's that thing, that crash is still going to be at the back of his mind. But now we're going to go down to 6th, as we're now looking at Renegade and Venom having a battle. Venom looks like Venom actually gotten past Renegade in the BMW and pushed his way up to 6th. Now Renegade trying to get the inside line, but just couldn't get it done. And Venom still stays in 6th place. A very good race tonight from Venom. Still could be losing out of a driver's championship lead at the end of this race, but as it stands now, Venom is in 6th place, with Renegade close behind in 7th. And this battle for 6th isn't going anywhere. Right now we're gonna be going a little bit up ahead, and I'm honestly so excited for this. But I'm so excited for this race end, because it's going to be very close. Probably some last ditch efforts with using probably all of the fuel near the end of this race. Potentially seeing some desperate moves. But we'll have to wait and see, as we're now heading to 23.5 minutes left. These drivers have currently been racing on this track for over an hour. Over an hour's time now. Close to an hour and 7, actually we could probably say an hour and potentially 15 minutes, mainly because we had 2 red flags at the beginning of the race. But yeah, but we still gotta give props to J-Rod up in the lead, just having such a dominant race here tonight. Just getting the start off early, battling out with Renegade into turn 1 and 2. Pushes his way through and has been leading the race practically ever since. Just having such a strong result here tonight, J-Rod, after having a unfortunate result in Autopolis. And in the car that the drivers were using at Kyoto, and just proving it to be such a strong car here at St. Croix. So well done to J-Rod. Just needs to keep it a little bit more consistent coming to the near end of this race. And we could be seeing him have a battle near the end of this race as well, as the gap between him and Wooly was probably around 5 seconds a few laps ago, and is now around 3.5 seconds. So Wooly could be in striking distance in the next coming of laps. We're gonna have to check back with that battle potentially brewing up later on. But while we wait, we're actually going to be hearing from one of our sponsors. So be right back after that one, guys. Don't go anywhere for this race. thank you to Metropolis for being such an amazing sponsor for GT Champions. As the ad did just show, go to metropolis.com to see if you can get an upgrade and switch gears with Metropolis. But now, look at this battle now. Just one ad, which was possibly around maybe a minute or so, maybe half a minute. And look at this now. The gap between J-Rod and Wooly was almost down to 2.6 seconds. But the power unit of that Dodge Viper is just so strong here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But Wooly is just keep on pushing, staying strong in that Corvette to keep his way forward and nearing the rear end of the Dodge Viper of J-Rod as they make their way through Sector 5, entering now Sector 6 in the next coming of turns. And it looks like J-Rod actually has a little bit less powerful aerodynamics and a less powerful traction into this sector, but is able to manage. But the gap is shortening down now between J-Rod and Wooly. We could be seeing a huge battle between those two drivers near the end of this race. And looks like the gap now is back down to a 2.5, almost down to a 2.3. It is a 2.3. Is it going to go down to 2.2? It is going to be 2.2 seconds. And it's going to be close. The gap is now almost down to 2.0. Oh, and look at the gap now. 1.9 seconds between Wooly and J-Rod just now. Wooly is having the drive of a lifetime, and J-Rod must be shaking in his boots now, as we have around just under 19 minutes left in this 90-minute endurance race. And we could be seeing a huge change between the front two. Would have been a front three with Carbon, but of course Carbon, unfortunately, having an incident a few laps prior, making his way into the bridge sector and just losing out. Spins around, hits the grass, then into the wall, loses a little bit of got a lot of damage on the rear end of that Ferrari, and also damage to the engine. So the power unit was very slow, making its way and just crawling its way practically to the pit lane for damage repairs. But just to give you guys a quick recap about what happened in this race so far. At the beginning of the race, J-Rod and Renegade both having such an amazing start to the race, where we actually, if I do remember correctly, we saw Venom crash out around turn 3, just getting a little bit. No, it was green. Well, was it green? Because I remember green spun around, but I'm trying to remember if it was actually before one of the red flags or on this race. On this red flag restart, I'm not too sure, to be honest. But yeah, so someone spun around up the front. Big Red U of A actually was battling out with Carbon Boy and Renegade near the beginning of the race as well. Looks like he had a little bit of damage, crashed out, and just fallen down the pecking order near the back of the grid. And then Renegade was battling up with J-Rod at the beginning, but then just having a little bit of mistakes, just not having a good car out there compared to the drivers around him. Just lost out a lot of time and positions. Was trying to defend, but the drivers around them were just the better drivers, and just with the power units of the cars around him just couldn't match to the power units of the Corvettes or the Dodge Viper or even some of the Mazdas. And after having damage as well, making a pit stop after the pit window closes to fix his car, just unfortunate to see, because I think that happened to him twice actually, making his way into the pit lane. But it is coming to the near end, 16 minutes left in this race, where J-Rod has had such an amazing race here tonight, and is going to be still pushing on for a potential race win, where his previous lap was a 328.29 if I remember correctly. Okay, and the lap just then was a 328.53, where Woolie's time was a 328.482. So having a faster lap than J-Rod, but he's actually struggling a little bit to keep up the pace. He wants to get within that slipstream to preserve as much fuel as he can. But the overall pace of J-Rod is just extraordinary in that Viper. Woolie actually takes a super wide line coming around, but he's going to be having a little bit of a faster exit potentially. But he did lose out a lot of time to J-Rod into turn 3. But as we make our way down towards turn 5 and 6, the double apex right-hander. Sorry guys, it's not a boring race, it's just that it's quite late for me tonight. Sorry guys, but Woolie is gonna be catching up a little bit with J-Rod now. Coming out of the exit of the double apex right-hander of turns 5 and 6, as they now negotiate around turn 8. And the gap now is almost down to within a second. Woolie could be looking at a potential overtaking move in the next coming of turns, as they are making their way down to the bottom rights and lefts before the bridge section. Look at this now, 8/10 separate the two drivers. Woolie close behind, and you can see that's going to be giving J-Rod a little bit of ants in his pants as he is trying to get away from the Corvette. The Corvette being such a strong car here at Circuit de Saint Croix. And Woolie just doing such an exceptional job, but is going to be struggling a little bit with the dirty air right behind J-Rod as they make their way down to the long right-hander of turn 14. And he's going to be right on the tail end. We could be seeing a move here from Woolie on the exit of turn 14. He's going to be having the slipstream following J-Rod wherever he goes on this long straight. 2/10, close to 1/10. He's looking on the inside. They're going to go side by side into turn 15. I'm losing my voice here a little bit, guys. But J-Rod with the later braking around the outside. They're going to go side by side still, as we did see J-Rod have a battle between him and Carbon Boy earlier on in this race, and J-Rod retakes the lead, defending against ART. Woolie, a strong competitor for the Drivers' Champion, both of those drivers actually. And this is where you can make it or break it, but as it stands now, they are both making it happen instead of breaking the battle. As you can see, Woolie is right on the tail end of J-Rod. Coming into the final corner of turn 24. And it looks like Woolie had a better exit. It's going to be right on the tail end of J-Rod, making his way into turn 1. Is he going to be looking on a move on the outside of turn 1? No, he cannot get it. He cannot make it happen. Just had to back out of that battle for first place. But he has re-entered the frame, coming around turn 2, getting a better exit while also getting slipstream. And this is where you can make it now. This is where you can make the move. But instead, it looks like he's going to be patient. He's going to back out a little bit. He's going to stay right behind J-Rod. He's going to let J-Rod pull him forward with that slipstream. And it's going to be a very, very close ending to this race. But as it is coming to the near ending, only probably around 3, maybe 4 laps left to go here. I need to decide a driver of the day, not a driver's champion. I cannot decide a driver's champion. I can decide a driver of the day. But actually, before I do that, Woolie and J-Rod are going to go side by side once again, and Woolie is able to get the job done, make his way into the racing lead. Well done to ART Woolie, pushing his way forward and J-Rod can't do anything about it. The Corvette leads the way, Dodge Viper down to second. But now I need to make a commentator's driver of the day, as I always do for the leagues that I commentate in, and it just makes it a little bit fun. Me personally, if I would choose a driver to give driver of the day, I would actually give it to J-Rod. Having an amazing lead and amazing battles with all of the drivers out there tonight, even though it's now down to second, it could be ending in second place, has still done an exceptional job here at GTC3, and I truly believe that he would deserve driver of the day. And I think a few people, I don't think many people can go against me for that. So J-Rod is going to be my driver of the day. But now we have less than 10 minutes until we have a finish to our race, and we will see who will be getting the top step of the podium and be lifting the gold trophy here at St. Croix. But it looks like ART Willie is really starting to pull away a little bit from J-Rod. It's going to be very, very close here for the ending. 9 minutes left. Only around 3 laps, a potential 3 laps around this track for the final time. And I'm just excited to see what is going to be the finish. I'm actually so excited. I cannot wait. Me personally, I cannot wait to see who's going to be the one to come out on top. But hold on, I just need to check one last thing, guys. Give me a quick second. Alright, yep. So it looks like ART Willie, if he wins this race, he could be having the lead in the Drivers' Championship at the end of round 6, where we find ourselves here once again at Circuit de St. Croix, where at the beginning... Oh, hold on, what happened? Viper's Fang has left. It looks like Viper's Fang either disconnected or just given up. He had enough of this track with 8 minutes left to go. Very unfortunate to see Viper's Fang go. Well, I just realized I messed up real quick. Give me a sec. Alright, doesn't look like there's many battles. I think the closest battle that we have is 4th and 5th place with Carbon Boy and Little Mac. Looks like them guys are having a really good battle for that 4th place. And it's getting very, very close. Little Mac is starting to catch up a little bit on those straights, but Carbon Boy with the faster exits, that's the acceleration of that Ferrari is just extraordinary. But it's anyone's game at this point, anyone's fight here tonight. I'm actually a little bit confused, actually. I do want to see if we have a good battle coming near the end of this. With 6.5 minutes left, I'm actually going to go on board with Little Mac because it looks like he is starting to catch up a little bit to Carbon Boy for that 4th place position. That Corvette, we actually do have a Corvette leading the way, and are we going to be seeing another Corvette of Little Mac push his way through? It's going to be a very, very tough order for this man to see if he can get his way through to 4th place. As you can see, with the elevation changes of this track, it just makes those suspension go through so much wear and tear. especially on the pit, on what's going on the bridge exit, the bridge entry, and that double right-hand apex of turns 15 and 16 just puts a lot of pressure on those suspensions, and it's going to be a very, very close run here. But as it stands now, Little Mac still in 5th place. Wooly still leads the way in first, 11 seconds now ahead of J-Rod. J-Rod now 18 seconds ahead of ATK Leo, with Carbon Boy and Little Mac close behind for 4th and 5th. Venom down to 6th. Renegade down to 7th after having an amazing start, but just an unfortunate result. As it stands now, 5 minutes left in this race, where we also see Green up to 8th. We see Clint Freeman up to 9th now. Was down to 11th at one point of this race, but has passed his way up to 9th after having pole position. Then we have Egon in 10th. Then we have Big Red U of A in 11th. Oh, not having a race that he would want to remember here tonight at Circuit de Saint Croix. But you have got to give praise to ATK, to Wooly and J-Rod. Both of those, I mean, you can give praise to all of these drivers tonight, to be honest with you, but these drivers have done such an amazing job, an extraordinary job here at GTC3. After having 2 red flags at the beginning of the race, still had the dedication to put on a good show here tonight. And we could actually see Carbon Boy make his way up towards the podium positions again after having to make that pit stop to fix the engine and the rear end of the Ferrari. He is now on the tail end of the Mazda GT3 concept racing car, and he is going to be able to get the job done, making his way off the exit of turn 6 into turn 7. Carbon Boy finds himself back in the podium positions. We're going to see how he was able to do that there. Just staying right behind ATK. ATK just having a little bit of too much of a tight inside line there, just not getting that much, not carrying as much pace on the exit, and Carbon Boy was able to make advantage of that and push his way up to 3rd place. Extraordinary race that we have been seeing so far. 3 minutes left. We could be looking at the last lap, but we're actually going to look now at the tires near the end of this race. And it looks like Wooly has not that much damage to his tires, but his fuel isn't looking too good. And same goes with J-Rod, but they were able to make that fuel last as long as he potentially can. Or Carbon Boy in the same way. ATK Leo is now in the reds on the fuel. Has around 1 more lap left to go once he crosses the line. And we also are looking at Little Mac, who is in a little bit more of a comfortable position and could be looking to make the move now on ATK Leo. And ATK Leo does move out the way, does not want to battle out with Little Mac after losing out on fuel. Now Little Mac is low on fuel as well. Oh, and actually ATK has damage to the back left of that Mazda car. I don't know what happened with him there. Venom also low on fuel. Renegade has actually done a pretty good job preserving fuel here tonight. Same with Green and Clint Freeman. Egon actually having actually run on the borderline of the red gas meter, but Big Red U of A on the reds, and it looks like we have 1.5 minutes. This is going to be the last lap here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And we could be looking at our race winner here tonight of ART Wooly. So well done to all of the drivers here tonight. Just having such an amazing race tonight. And we could be looking at our race winner of Wooly as he comes around turn 3 for the final time. Now towards turn 4. And honestly, Wooly has done an exceptional job here tonight. But with Little Mac having the fastest lap here tonight, we'll be starting at the back of the grid in our next race next week. And it's gonna be a very, very close one coming to the end of this race. And yep, 30 seconds. This is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. 90 minutes of St. Croix racing. And where else would you be other than GTC champions for a late night Gran Turismo racing? Late night Gran Turismo racing. Sorry, my mind is just all over the place right now. It just hit 11:30 at night my time, so I am ready to have a nice hot shower and go to bed. But there it is, 0 seconds, the final lap. The race is over. The first person to finish the race, I should say, is actually going to be Egon with Big Red U of A in 11th. Cannot bag in that extra lap as he's going to be coming across the line for the checker flag. And he finishes in last place after having a little bit of an incident near the beginning of the race, but still stayed for the long run and finished in 11th. But now we're gonna go back with our race leader of ART, Wooly, who after having a little bit of an unfortunate start of this race is able to bring it back and find himself, instead of in 3rd place that he's been for a few times now, he is able to finally make his way back to 1st place and take the gold trophy with pride and honor. For GTC3, he's going to push his way through towards the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And this could be it, as he is rocking the ART livery, GT Champions livery as well. So doing an exceptional job. Turns 23 and 24 now for the man. He's going to come across the line. He did everything he needed to do today. Crosses the line for the final time. And he is going to take that checker flag with pride, as he has won at St. Croix. Well done to ART Wooly. He is our race winner here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like J-Rod in 2nd place. It's going to be coming across the line in a few seconds time. And here he goes, final corner. J-Rod has done everything that he could do here tonight. Happy with his result for flashing his headlights. And honestly, my driver of the day, J-Rod, has done an exceptional job, having battles all over the place. Carbon Boy pushes his way back towards the podium, having such a recovery drive after making that pit stop for damages. Little Mac finishes in 4th. ATK takes the slow run and slides on the track and finishes the race in style. Well done to ATK Leo, finishing in 5th place. Green is going to be coming around the final corners as well in that McLaren. Has done a pretty good race, actually. Was very close to getting driver of the day, but just not having that dominant race. No passing, yellow flag for Green, as he's going to swivel side to side on the track, as he's going to take the checker flag, the 6th driver to take the checker flag. As now we're looking at Clint Freeman come around the final corner as well. 40 seconds left to take that checker flag. He has done everything he needed. Started in pole, finished in 7th. Overall, had an amazing race. Renegade having a pretty good race as well here tonight. Just having unfortunate moments with his finish, and he's going to come across the line for the 8th place position. And now we're going to be looking at Venom who is currently completely out of fuel. He has run out of fuel here, ladies and gentlemen, and he is gliding his way to the finish line, but he's not going to be able to make it in time, but he still finishes in 9th place. Well done to Venom, and that's going to be it. But ART Wooly is your winner here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrate with me as he's going to take the top pedestal, gets the gold trophy, having a clean race, gained a whole 11 positions, ART Wooly. And he's going to be pushing his way for Drivers' Championship. And we're going to be right back with some interviews. Bear with us. Hey yo, no worries, we're just getting everything sorted. They don't hear you at the moment, so.
I'm here.
Yeah, so who do we have? So we have Wooly, we have J-Rod, we have Renegade. Do we have Venom in here?
No, Wooly just joined.
Okay, what about Carbon Boy? Carbon Boy here?
Yeah, I think he's here.
Alright, beautiful. Alright, guys.
Yeah, that's sort of.
Alright, yeah, I actually did see that near the end. Let's go. So we are going. Oh, Venom's not gonna be making interviews. Damn. Probably has his son to take care of.
Yeah, his wife whispered something.
Son? Yeah, I saw that at the end. Alright, so I'm gonna be unmuting in a few seconds time. So guys, hold on, just make sure that you guys have yourself allow your voice to be shared in your party settings, just so people can hear you back at home when I do the interviews.
Yep. Yeah,
Alright, cool. So I'm just gonna check real quick.
How's my makeup?
Yeah.
How's my makeup?
Alright guys, go mute real quick. We're gonna start interviews.
Alright.
Once I introduce you guys, that's when I'll ask you the questions. Real quick, we're gonna start interviews. Alright guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed the race, even though we heard a little whisper in the distance. But guys, I forgot that was on. We're actually gonna start with you know what? We'll start with Carbon Boy. Carbon Boy, are you here, mate? Alright, I want to say a congratulations to you getting yourself in the podium positions nearing the end of the race. How does it feel to be in the top 3? Honestly, it did everything that you needed to do, but I want to flash you back after the pit stop where you were right behind who were you right behind? You were right behind J-Rod, right as you came out, right as you guys came out of the pit lane, and that exceptional battle all the way from turn 3 to right before the what's called the bridge entrance of turn 12. You two were going side by side. Actually, J-Rod, I'm gonna have you in this as well. How do you think that battle went? Because me personally, that was an exceptional battle. Just having a clean battle all the way through.
All right. I thought it went well, and I was kind of worried. I was like, "Oh, it's too early to be battling." I want to try to save fuel, and you know, when you're battling someone, you tend to lose time and fuel. But other than that, it was cool. And then he backed out of it, and I was like, "Ah, he gave up," because it was kind of fun. So, but I'm kind of glad he backed up. Right. And yeah, good job. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and now I'm gonna flash you back. Flash you forward from that situation just a little bit further. When you spun off and right before the bridge entrance, Carbon, it looks like what happened there? Did you just mistime the braking zone? Did you hit the grass? Because I saw you hit like a little bit of the dirt on that inside line, and you went right into the wall, damaged your rear bumper and also your engine. So when you came back out of the pit lane behind ATK Leo, did you think that your race was practically over at that point, or did you just keep your head down, keep your head focused, and just try to get back into that podium position? Like, what was going through your mind when you made that crash? I actually did see that a little bit. Hold on, Carbon? Apparently they cannot hear you. You don't have your voice allowed to be shared, apparently. So basically, if you go into your party settings, like when you go to the party, go to party settings, and you should see allow your voice to be shared. Because we actually have, so thanks again. I know that you're watching because I see the Discord open. Grays1, thank you so much, buddy. He was just checking in with the stream to see if he could actually hear the drivers. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. So please, if you all can check real quick, and we'll just, I'll ask you that question once again, and then, well, I probably won't ask it as long. So basically, like, do you have like the party menu up to where you see all of the drivers? Like where you see all of the people and the party.
Bring up your main menu to your game.
Yeah. So basically.
Then go to the headphones.
Yep.
Click on that. You'll jump you into the party. Then you should see on the right side of the screen. It should say party settings.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you on PS4 or PS5? That's why.
It's different. I'm on PS4.
Yeah. Is there?
That.
If you press your PS button, Carbon. Right, have you got a box up on the left hand side with GTC3 comms box? Yeah? Press your X button.
No worries, Grace, they're gonna get it done now.
Right, you've got the three little dots on the right hand side. Yeah, go on to that, click more. Go down to setting. Yeah, go down to settings, and you should have second on share
Roger, there we
voice,
go.
right?
There we go. Sorry about that.
Alright, I'm just gonna check with Grace.
No one's heard a word.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and also it doesn't look like they can hear Renegade neither.
Oh wow.
That might change.
Yeah, but no worries. This is still the early stages of GTC3 doing interviews, so we're gonna get this done now before we actually do have an impact in other races. Can't hear Carbon. Can hear Carbon now. They can hear you now. Beautiful. Thank you, Grace. Appreciate it, buddy. Just stay with us, Grace, because we might have a little bit of issues later on. But Carbon, I'm just gonna re-ask you the question. When you spun out, broke your rear bumper and your engine, did you believe that your race was over, or did you still think that you had that opportunity?
At that point, yeah, I did think the race was over. I was sitting in P2 at the time, feeling pretty confident. I was a little worried about Wooly in P3 at the time catching up to me, but I figured if I was lucky I could stay ahead just by maintaining consistent laps, and then yeah, coming before the bridge, just clipped the curb, found a bump in the road under brakes, and game over. So there was a lot of swearing going on my way back to the pits.
Oh, definitely. I can definitely imagine that.
But I figured, just repair the damage, get back out there, and try and finish as high up the order as I could.
Well, you made your way back and found yourself in a podium finish. So, again, congratulations for your podium finish. Just having that dedication to just go back out on the track, get as much of a result as you could, and you got a bronze trophy at the end of the day. So again, congratulations. Let's see how far you can take having consecutive podium finishes now. But we're actually gonna go with J-Rod. J-Rod, so I believe they hear you actually. Yeah, he says. Oh wait, there's J-Rod. Yeah, so we can hear you. I got a question with you. There was two battles. Actually, let's actually start off with the actual start of the race. And Renegade, I'll have you in this as well. You and Renegade just had an exceptional start of this Grand Prix. Well, Grand Prix. Sorry, I'm so used to Formula One in this endurance race. And even with the other two red flags, you still had the consistent start of the endurance race. You and Renegade. Was it just having the skill of just getting that key start of the race, or was it just the power unit of that car and just the traction of that acceleration? Like, what was it?
Yeah, I would definitely say
you can take the lead on this one, J-Rod.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would definitely say it was the cars. The Viper has one of the best launches of all the Group 3 cars, and the Mercedes does. They're almost hand in hand overall, but. Between those two and even Carbon Boy and the Ferrari is also another car that has a great launch. Yeah, that's pretty much just what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree on it, but I mean, we all have our own little techniques that we use. I mean, I've been practicing my own for grid starts, and it just seemed to work for me today, like with my start, and it's just unfortunate I couldn't carry that pace up and keep up with him.
Yep. But I also want to speak to actually J-Rod, one more question actually, because I think Willie might not have too much time to stay with us, because he actually just finished 2 races back to back practically. Yeah. I was gonna say, you've been part of 2 battles, J-Rod. It was you and Wooly near the ending of the race, and then it was you and Carbon. Who would you say that you enjoyed the battle out most of? Like, did you enjoy the battle between Wooly better than Carbon, or Carbon better than Wooly? Which one was your favorite battle tonight?
I would say probably with Carbon, because by the time Wooly got to me, I was already in desperation. My fuel was very low, so I wasn't even running on full lean or full power, and so I couldn't really try to battle with Wooly just for that reason. But so yeah, the battle with Carbon was definitely better, just because we were both giving it our all with 100% power.
Carbon's race this week was really good. I mean, he reiterated himself on his aggressive nature at the start. Like, he's shown good pace, and his aggressiveness kind of let him down in those early races where he came in, but today's race, yeah, no, from what I saw from when he was behind me, and I mean, I've had a personal chat with Carbon through Discord and went through a few things with him, and the way I approached him about it, he was actually quite thankful, and he's actually used that advice and what I've said to him. He's taken it on board and really shown.
It's been constructive criticism from
exactly right.
the other drivers. It hasn't been straight out
aggressive
abuse, which is not useful.
Right.
Yeah,
you
but
remember
honestly,
that conversation I had, don't you, Carbon?
Oh, yes.
As I said, I wasn't aggressive with him. I just came across with facts and whatnot, and like try this and try that, and he's listened. He's taken that advice on board.
At the end of the day, we all drive to improve all of us out on track.
Right.
Exactly
That's
right.
all we
exactly
do.
Right.
And that is why I love this community, to be honest with you guys, because there's been so many communities that I was a part of where they would just talk so much smack.
I think I just needed a clear definition of what the standards and what conditions were.
Yeah, and I believe I help you with that as well, and we all are.
Let's give him a round of applause for the advice.
Give him
a round of applause.
For our podium finishes, well done.
Yep.
Yes, well done, gentlemen.
But J-Rod, specifically for you, I actually gave you my commentator's driver of the day, just having an extraordinary start, dominated the race early on, having battles left, right, and center, unfortunately lost out to Wooly near the end of the race, but just had such a consistent battle. I know how difficult it is trying to conserve fuel on a Dodge Viper, for Christ's sake. But honestly, extraordinary race from you, J-Rod. You are my commentator's driver of the day. Big round of applause to J-Rod here today.
Thanks.
But now,
J-Rod.
But now, there's one more person that we've been waiting for. Having two races back-to-back tonight, one in his league of ART, and one here tonight at GTC3 at St. Croix. Our race winner here tonight, ART Wooly. Congratulations, my man. How does it feel to lift that gold trophy?
Absolutely awesome. It's nice to get a win. It's been close a few times and that. There's been some good battles, but yeah, nice to get a win.
It's been enjoyable
racing
with you,
Wooly.
Wooly.
J-Rod.
Yeah.
An extraordinary race from you, Wooly. Starting in 12th place, gaining a whole 11 positions, and making it count at the end of the race. How did you do it? Was it just pure skill, pure consistency? I'm just trying to boost your ego here. So pure skill, pure consistency. What was it tonight?
I think, to be honest, it helped starting at the back of the grid, because there was a lot of cars in front of me where I managed to save a lot of fuel at the start of the race.
Yeah.
And
that's the key.
Literally sit behind people and save the fuel. Honestly, when we got to the pit stops, I thought third was going to be the best I could do, because I thought Carbon and J-Rod were too far up the road. So I just stuck to my game plan of short shifting and coasting in the corners. Then obviously Carbon had his little incident at the bridge.
As did I.
Yeah, you were behind me at the time.
Yeah.
But like, so then sort of like, obviously that left me sort of like chasing J-Rod. Just stuck to my game plan, thinking he was gone. But the time just kept coming back to me. So obviously we had that little game of sort of like both shutting off on the straight. So and then that was right. No, I'm going to stick to my game. Stuck to it and it paid off. So yeah, like I say, I was lucky at the start. Didn't get involved in any of the incidents. Didn't pick up any damage. It's just a shame that Venom got caught up in it on the third start and suffered damage.
There's a hard luck story of the day.
And I actually wanted to speak with Venom later tonight, but looks like because I was going to ask him about what happened with him losing a lot of positions near the end, but
it was a fuel,
didn't he?
Yeah, well, he ran out of fuel, yeah. And he finished in 7th, I do want to say. Ninth.
9th or 10th or what it was. No, it might have, no.
I think it was
9th or
7th.
10th. Because I finished 8th and Green got in front of me.
Yep.
So it was,
Yeah, 7th.
yeah,
I think it was
I-
7th actually. Wait.
I came home
No,
in 8th.
it was
No,
9th.
he was behind me.
No, it
He
was
behind me
9th
'cause I
because
came home in
10th and
8th.
11th didn't do that one extra lap. Yeah, so he finished in 9th. And I wanted to see what happened with him there, but one person I do want to speak to actually, that after I said who the type of drivers I would choose for this this interview, he would say, "Oh, so you actually might be having me in this interview, Renegade."
Hey, how are you, buddy?
So so at the beginning had an amazing start with J-Rod, had a battle
Yep.
at the beginning, but near the middle of the race, like, you started to lose a lot of traction. Got onto the grass, got onto the gravel, saved yourself a few times before going into the wall, but there has been times where you did crash into the wall, and I just jumped because there is a flying cockroach in my room, but I'll continue with this as we go. But the thing is, what was the main problem? Do you think it was the car just not having the traction, not having the aerodynamic package, making the way through, and that shit just flew right by my head? Or was it or was it just the tires, just not holding onto those tires, or maybe it could have been the dirty air? Like, what happened out there tonight, Renegade?
It's just a combination of everything, I suppose. I mean, a lot of it is driver fatigue, especially on a circuit like this. I mean, it's a long lap, a lot of turns, long straights. Yeah, there is that mental fatigue, and just
Sorry.
I couldn't get my I was trying to save fuel at the same time, as well as still trying to maintain pace, and just towards the end of it, for me personally, it was just getting a little bit slippery towards the end of that first stint. I made the mistake of using the soft tyres at the start because of how far up the grid I was.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just laughing there for a second because the cockroach went right past my face, and I was just trying to hold in a scream. I'm sorry, but
No, you're right, dude.
But
I knew
what's
you
it
weren't
called?
laughing at me.
No. The thing is just flying all over the place. Jesus fucking Jesus. Sorry,
But yeah,
sorry for my
as long
French
as-
there. Sorry, sorry,
Spraying with bleach.
bro.
But
I need bag on
I
at this
couldn't-
point.
Just with the fuel saving and trying to match their pace, I just couldn't quite keep up with that dodge. I mean, that was insane.
Oh, that Viper on the straights. Oof.
Oh yeah,
And
honestly, the power
then-
unit of that car was extraordinary.
And then a couple of those Corvettes that were in the race, once they get into that slipstream behind your car, they just reel you in, and you just got no hope against those things.
Okay, but you still finished in a pretty good position even after all that you went through at St. Croix. It's a very tough track. It's a very, very tough track, especially trying to go 90 minutes consecutively on for that race.
My goal was just to finish in the top 5 position, but unfortunately, that because of the soft tyres at the start as well, that kind of didn't help. And
But
yeah,
I do have one question for you then.
Yep. Yes,
You
mate.
did not get the result that you wanted tonight. But
Correct.
next week, as there's lightning, next week, sorry, we're gonna be finding ourselves at Austria for the Red Bull Ring. It looks like it's in a Bugatti. Am I correct?
Yes, yeah,
Yes, the
Group 4
Veyron.
Bugatti.
So I want to ask you this then. You got the fastest lap, so you're gonna be starting at the back of the grid.
Unfortunately, no, that was taken off me by Little Mac. I
Little
was
Oh, really?
Then Wooly got then Wooly took my fastest lap off me by 0.3, and then Little Mac claimed it. So I'll be starting from
you'll
third
be
last.
starting near the back of the grid, and
Yep.
especially one key point, especially when you start off at Red Bull Ring, turn 1, just to give us a little bit of a teaser for next week. Do you think that we could be seeing quite a few incidents into turn 1, or do you think that with GTC3, all of the drivers will give the respect of the track, especially into that dreaded turn 1 and also turn 3, that tight hairpin on the right-hander?
It's for an honest answer, it's going to be hard to predict what's going to happen. Those first couple of corners around Red Bull Ring always create excitement, create carnage. I find there's a lot of personally, I find that's where a lot of the action takes place as well, into those tight turns like that. Basically, everyone's just going to have to be aware of each other and just, yeah, like fight, but respect as well.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I won't be there.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, well, what's going to make it harder is
No, I've got my best mate's 40th on that weekend, so...
Oh, congratulations, mate. Congratulations. Give him
there's
my
a possibility
birthday.
that I may not be even competing next week as well.
Ah, you got... Come on. For you guys to watch.
I could possibly be up at the hospital with my partner anytime in the next 10 days.
Yeah.
Good or bad reason?
Good or bad reason? She's having a baby.
Oh my
so
god.
Is that good or bad?
So it's a good reason.
Yo!
I'm going to become a father again for the third time.
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations,
Thank you very
mate.
much.
Wow,
Yeah, we're having
guys,
a little girl.
spam the love in the Discord for my man Renegade. Wow. I'm so proud. I'm so happy for you, mate.
Yeah, we're having a little girl. She's
Aw.
due on the 1st of March. So
I'm
anytime
so excited
in the next
for you.
10 days.
I'm so excited for you, mate. Congratulations. And
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
honestly, a great community here at GTC. But there's only one way.
Next week, I will be carrying a special decal on my car, or two of them actually. One will be a 3D ultrasound image that someone has created for me of our little girl. That'll be going on the bonnet.
Nice.
Aww.
And I plan on also carrying on the back of the car a baby on board decal.
Excellent.
Oh, that is outstanding. I love that. Again, congratulations. Next we have Chris. Say congratulations to you. But that's gonna be it for GTC3. Guys, thank you for coming in for a little bit of a longer, extensive interview session. But there's just a lot of stuff to talk about in that race. So of course,
Absolutely.
thank you guys so much for having such an amazing race. Congratulations to Wooly, J-Rod, and Carbon all getting into the podium positions. A lot of good races all around the board. But that is gonna be it. We're gonna see you guys next week. Same time, same place for the Red Bull Ring, Bugattis, fast cars, long straights. It's going to be an exciting race. But round 7 is where we'll be seeing you guys. But for the meantime, no other way to end it than the outro. You guys, honestly, thanks again. Thank you to ART Wooly for recommending me this for the commentary. As we've been actually in ART, so honestly, thank you so much to Wooly. But
thank you for doing it as well.
other than that,
Just remember before we go, race hard, keep it clean, and keep it between the lines.
exactly. And we're gonna see you guys next week.
All right.
Catch you all later. Have a good one.
Congratulations again, guys, and
Yes,
just
congratulations
gaming. Thanks for
again
hosting.
to
Of course.
Don't get too drunk next week,
our
Carbon.
place getters. Congratulations again to our place getters, and as well to Just Gaming for doing these interviews.
Of course, mate. It would not be anything without you guys. Come on now.
Well, it's everyone. It's the streamers, the commentators, and the drivers that make this league what it is today.
Exactly, mate. And honestly, a good community.
Without the combination of all three, we wouldn't have what we have.
Honestly, I think this stream went a lot better, to be honest with you guys. I think it went a lot better on my end. So I'm actually very happy.
Well, you got the first race jitters out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was disappointed with my 8th place result, but I mean, I was quite happy with how